Alright, good morning YouTube. This morning we're going to talk about acclimating and dipping your corals. We got some new coral frags here, fresh back from the fish store. We got some Passiflora, some Acropora, and we're going to work on dipping them today. Today's product we're going to be using to dip these, pardon the mess, we're going to be using the Bayer Complete Insect two-way formula for insects and parasites here. From what I read online, there's a lot of use and a lot of people having great success with this product. So let me tell you what I've got going on here so far. So far this morning here, I have my bucket ready for getting water out of the tank. I have all my utensils and tools ready. I have several Tupperware containers ready to receive water and corals. I have some cleaning supplies as far as toothbrushes. I have a good old turkey baster. We have some stainless steel cutters here, a couple different pairs of tweezers. We have a knife here, and we also have a straight edge knife here, also used for shaving. But this is a nice Damascus steel piece, and it works really good for coral fragging to get a nice flat, long edge underneath the coral to scrape it off a plug. Works pretty well. Also here, last and least, we have a handheld strainer, so I can move the corals in and out of the solution to try to break free any bugs or worms or parasites that might be on the corals. So first off here, I'm going to try to put you down. Hopefully I don't have too bad of a view here of what I'm actually got going on. That looks to be pretty good. Alright, so first off, let me move it over here. I'm going to start by pulling the frags out of the tank. They've been floating now for roughly 15 or 20 minutes. They should be pretty well acclimated to the water temperature. The acclimation temperature, or the acclimation time to reach the temperature, shouldn't be that long. Depending on your local fish store, the fish should be kept roughly at a very similar temp to what you are keeping them now. So the acclimation time should be pretty easy. So first I'm going to start here by taking them in their own water. And we're going to put them right in the first container here. These bags are a little tough. Right in their own water. See, stuck in there. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to pull them right in there. That one a lot easier. There's number two. Ooh, rubber bands are tough on there. All right. Now, I'm going to grab some tank water, and I'll be right back. Grab some water right out of your tank. The old siphon going. Alright. Now we got nice warm water. Imagine I came, I'm going to fill up the first container here. And I got measurements on this thing right here, so this is about a little over a 1.5 liter container. So from some of the measurements I read online and some of the amounts to use the stuff, people vary. Some people say, you know, about 125 milliliters per half gallon. Some people say 225 to 250 milliliters per gallon. I guess the choice, you know, is really up to debate. There's no exact scientific method behind it right now that I can see. So people have been having great success with lower to medium dosages, so we're going to stick with that today. I have 1 liter here today, and I have about 2 to 2.5 ounces of the Bear Complete Insect Repellent. And we're going to head in, and we're going to just dump it out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and add this right away to the solution. And it's going to turn nice and milky. I'm going to use the cup a little bit to stir it around. And I'm going to baste this a little bit here. I'm trying to get it all nice and fluid. And then I'm going to go right ahead and start dropping in corals. Alright, there's number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Number 3 has a, let me show you right off the bat. What appears to be, if this will zoom in on this frag, appears to be a worm right there, that little white, hold on, zoom in, come on, focus. It won't focus. Alright, well, either way, there's a little white worm right there around the base of the plug. You can barely see it right there. It looks like a flatworm, and it's kind of wrapped around the base of the plug. We'll try to kill this guy right now. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's moving on there. It's definitely a worm. Let's put him in there and see what happens. Now, while you're doing this, you want to keep the water circulating, and you also want to set up a timer. Some people like to do this for about 15 minutes. From personal experience here, if I can find my phone, so I can set a damn timer. Personal experience, you know, about 10 or so minutes, 5 to 10 minutes is a pretty good time. And we're just gonna keep these guys circulating here. You kind of want the water flow to be relatively aggressive, so you kind of want to be moving the water around. And a lot of people wear gloves for this. They don't want to get that pesticide on them at all. I just try not to get my hands in it too much. And a little bit that does get on you doesn't really seem to be, you know, toxic. It doesn't kill me, so I'm sure it's not the best, but I'm going to reach in here and try to find one of these guys. Try to really get in there, hold them and blast them around, try to knock any parasites free. In and out of the water, swooshing. And here's this guy with that worm on him. And now I'm going to grab the tweezers, because I can visually see this big guy. So I'm going to grab the tweezers and I'm going to pull this guy off right now. Yeah, he's not liking that too much. There he is. Let me try to bring this a little closer here. I'm going to put this guy back in the solution for a minute. I don't know if you can see him hanging there. Oh. Let me get a little better. Alright. I won't focus in on this for whatever reason. Maybe it's too small. But there's a nice adult size flatworm. We don't want this thing in our system, so we're going to throw this thing right out. Now I'm going to come right back over here. I'm going to keep circulating here, and I'm going to grab a little toothbrush, And I'm going to start cleaning off the coral plug here, the plug best I can without being too aggressive onto the actual coral. I really don't want anything from this tank in my tank at all. So I'm going to try to make sure I brush these all down real good and get all the little eggs off or anything that doesn't really look like it belongs. Having a really good light for this is important, which is right here because I can't see nothing. You can use any high-powered LED light to work good. I like the ones with the hands-free, so I actually can get in here and really get in close and see what I'm doing. And we're just trying to gently get anything off this that we don't want here. Use a little bit of a knife here and scrape some of this incrustations off the plug that I don't want in my tank. Now, for the green algae that's on here, you can spot treat this green algae with a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, and it should take right care of it. Now, I'm gonna come back here, I'm gonna brush this with the solution. Try to make sure you hit all the areas. Real good brushing. Try to knock off any worm eggs or any type of eggs or unwanted parasites in your tank. Really blow it off. I'm going to pull up the knife again and scrape off some of these incrustations on here, some undesirable algae. Now when you're doing this, you want to be careful. You don't want to hurt the animal you're working on, the piece of coral. You want to be careful and take your time. This is the last one I got to work on here. Now it's wise when you're doing this with any type of zoanthid or pally that you want to wear some mouth protection and or some eye protection as well. Sometimes the corals can spit stuff at you, being stressed out, and with the zoanthids and the pallies, they can be toxic and it can be poison. It's actually poisonous. There has been reports over time of people getting poisoned by this coral, although the cases are rare, few far in between. There have been some reported cases. So on a cautionary side, you always want to just take a little precaution. Now, okay, I can't tell if that's what that is. Could be a worm. Now you're also looking for signs of little white bite marks or pieces of flesh missing that would indicate that something has been eating on your coral. So you want to make sure that make sure that you really go through everything well and make sure that you're not doing any damage to your corals. Like I just did. Alright, well we've been here about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to let these guys soak in here for another minute or two. While I go find some super glue, because I need to remount one of the frags that just fell off its mount. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some super glue. Alright, I don't know where the super glue is. Crap. Where is the super glue? Well, I don't know where the super glue is. I'm going to keep sloshing it around a little bit, trying to agitate the water. About 3 or 4 minutes in time right now. I'll be right back with the super glue. Well, okay, because I can't find anything when I need it. I think I have some downstairs in the basement. I will be right back. Sorry about this, guys. I'm really sorry. I thought I had some out. All right. Ooh, John Boy. All right, so we're gonna get a little treat today. Looks like we're gonna get a little frag mountain too. So I grabbed a already prepped plug, and I'm gonna got a little super glue here. And I'm gonna get a little dot right on there in the middle. And when you do this, you don't want to get no tissue on there. You just want to get the bony structure. You don't really want to get a lot of tissue on there. And if you put a little dollop of salt water on top of the super glue, for whatever reason, it seems like it wants to help it cure a little quicker. So these guys have been in about 5 or so minutes, maybe a smidgen longer. I'm gonna agitate them really well. Put that plug to the side for a second. There they are. I'm just going to draw them in and out of the fluid here. Really try to knock any bugs or critters off of them. You know, this one didn't really get a good scrub from me because I broke it. I'm hoping that that will still frag out. You know, it's already been damaged. This type of thing happens in the wild quite frequently, where corals get damaged and just continue to grow. Alright, so make sure we really get a good scrub on all these, and I'm going to start rinsing them. So we're going to rinse very vigorously. We want to make sure we get any of that bare pesticide off these corals. Alright, I'm going back in another rinse right here. And I'm going to let it sit right there. Rinse. Rinse. Well, it seems like this water's really dropped temp pretty quickly on me here. So I'm going to have to hustle to keep this up. throw this water out real quick so I can get some warmer water. Make sure we really get a last final soak in there. Rinse, 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 rinse. Rinse, 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 rinse. Rinse, 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 rinse. Here we're gonna keep rinsing. Into the warmer water. Into the warmer water. Alright, we got one more little piece in there because it broke. And this is the piece that we're gonna be fragging here today. I got way too much super glue on there for this.